you know, trans kids, this is it right here. That's the coach. Trans kids belong. They had a conversation together. They walked up to each other. They had the talk. And by the way, just so you know, we did not know this. I Googled to see which side Cheryl Reeve is on. She's actually lesbian. Nothing wrong with that. But they're having a conversation here to the left. That's Sophie and her talking. Then the post-game interview, she's being interviewed, the coach, and the question is asked. And here's what the coach had to say of the opposing team. If you can go to what the coach had to say of the opposing team in the post-game.
Buddy, stop scrolling and listen, because something shocking is reportedly happening behind the scenes in the WNBA, and Caitlin Clark may have finally had enough. For weeks, fans have been talking about the growing tension, hard fouls, controversial moments, and the way the Indiana Fever have been treated, but now a much bigger story is making waves. Reports are claiming that a serious legal battle could be developing, and Caitlin Clark has reportedly decided to speak up. The controversy allegedly started after WNBA coaches and teams became involved in the "Trans Kids Belong" protest shirt issue, with attention reportedly turning toward Sophie Cunningham. But according to the claims, they made one huge mistake: they underestimated Caitlin Clark's loyalty to her teammates. Now, rumors are spreading about what allegedly happened behind closed doors, what Clark reportedly said to the coaching staff, and whether her actions could put even more pressure on the WNBA leadership. The situation reportedly began in Seattle, where the atmosphere was already tense. Some Seattle Storm coaches and other teams were seen supporting the shirts, turning a basketball event into a much bigger social and political debate. But critics argue that this was never just about a shirt, it was about players, team culture, pressure, and how much control the league should have over what athletes say and support. And now, with Caitlin Clark reportedly caught in the middle, this controversy could become one of the biggest stories the WNBA has faced all season.
More than anything, educate, and there are some things that, you know, we have in common and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things. And so...
You can pause it right there. I want you to now watch what Caitlin Clark's
nice
coach had to say when she was questioned. This is Caitlin Clark's coach. Okay, go for it.
Your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports? What's your
Let's watch her answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't.
Oh my. No, but wait a minute. You got to keep playing it. Is this the only clip we have? Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Because she says, I used to play with men when I was a kid. I always played with men when I was a kid. And she answers the question like, you know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not this. I'm not that. And then the game's being played yesterday. Sophie Cunningham gets hit in the face by an elbow that pretty much almost like massive foul. They called the foul on her.
It's a defensive
on
foul.
her. I don't even know if we can even play this clip or not.
According to shocking claims from inside sources, Sophie Cunningham reportedly became a major target after allegedly refusing to give in to pressure from opposing coaching staffs. The coaches were accused of turning against her, with claims of a coordinated effort to isolate Sophie and damage her reputation. Some reports even allege that she faced constant trash talk from the sidelines, questionable officiating, and hostile comments whenever she touched the ball. The alleged goal was simple: break her confidence and make an example out of her. Meanwhile, league officials were reportedly staying silent as the Indiana Fever continued to face what critics described as unfair treatment. They may have believed Sophie was an easy target, but they forgot one important thing: Sophie is a close teammate and supporter of one of the biggest stars in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark. And when you push a loyal teammate too far, you never know how the superstar will respond. The alleged breaking point reportedly came after a heated game where Sophie faced intense pressure from the opposing bench. When the Fever returned to the locker room, the mood was reportedly extremely tense. Sophie, who is known for taking criticism and contact without backing down, was allegedly shaken by what had happened. Caitlin Clark had stayed quiet for months, ignoring the drama, the criticism, and the constant physical battles. But seeing her teammate pushed to the limit was reportedly the moment everything changed. According to the claims, the locker room suddenly went silent as Caitlin stood up and confronted the situation. She reportedly walked toward team management and demanded answers, visibly angry and unwilling to stay silent any longer. If these reports are accurate, that moment could have changed everything.
We have to still play this "trans kids belong." And listen, I pray for those people. I pray for those people that are confused. My heart goes out to them. I literally pray all the time. Like, let them figure it out. Talk to somebody that's going to do it instead of them patting you on the back and saying, you know what? Take your breast off or chop your penis off. And the majority of those people have freaking depression and they wind up killing themselves. Or if not, they wind up shooting up places and they call us transphobic. Give me a freaking break. Shut down the WNBA. Where's the money coming from? Name me a company that loses $40 million a year and people still put up with this. And mind you, Caitlin Collins is your superstar.
Caitlin Clark,
Caitlin Collins, whatever. Potato. That's how much. Adam,
well, it's technically, if you can't do potato in the NBA, then
exactly.
it's
But Adam, think about
And she
this.
got you new TV and sponsorship deals, and that money is being used to pay the players, and now you don't need her.
And now you don't need her. And great point, Tom. Are you ready for this, Adam? They hate her because she's white. She's the nastiest player in the league, and everybody, the coaches, the refs, the players, all hate on her because she's a white star, and she had to bend the knee too. I'm done with the WNBA, bro. I'm tired of it. Is that bad? I'm furious. No, am I wrong?
So where are you at with this?
I'm just, Vinny, I mean this sincerely. Thank you for coming over.
Finally, you got me.
Thank you. Just say out of your
FYI,
mind.
just so you know, that's not happening. The first team in WNBA just got $1 billion valuation. Their revenue's up to $500 million. They're not profitable yet, so it's not like they're making money now. But Vinny, there is no way this thing's going away because the simple fact that we're talking about it right now means it's relevant.
Nobody could believe what reportedly happened next. Caitlin Clark allegedly grabbed a clipboard and slammed it against the locker room wall, sending everyone into shock. She reportedly wasn't just defending Sophie Cunningham, she was furious at the way the situation had been handled. According to the claims, Clark shouted that everyone had watched Sophie take hit after hit while doing nothing to protect her. She allegedly made it clear that Sophie had been fighting for the fever all season and that she would not sit back and watch her teammate get destroyed by constant pressure and criticism. The people inside the room were reportedly stunned, but Clark allegedly wasn't finished. She reportedly turned toward the team and league officials and delivered a warning that left everyone speechless. This wasn't simply an angry moment that ended when the locker room emptied. According to the reports, something much bigger allegedly happened within the next 24 hours. News began spreading that Caitlin Clark's legal team had reportedly become involved, sending the entire situation into chaos. If those claims are true, this wasn't just a heated locker room argument anymore. It could have become a serious battle involving one of the WNBA's biggest stars.
Right. Everyone has a hill they're willing to die on. We've talked about this. We all have our hills. The WNBA has basically said, this is the hill we're willing to die on because the L, the G, the B has been grouped in with that T, and they need to basically protect that T. And in the NBA, because I'm the local NBA guru over here, we know, they say, you live by you say you live by the 3 and you die by the 3, right? So the women of the NBA are going to die on this hill if it's the last thing they do. And they're not double dribbling. They're doubling down on this nonsense. And at this point, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm sitting there eating my popcorn just being like, you have this generational talent, Caitlin Clark, and you're running her out of the league. And you have this beautiful person, Sophie Cunningham, who's basically saying, listen, I'm just a normal person. I'm not political. I just don't want dudes in the locker room with me. And they elbow her in the face and they go, that's a foul on you. Shut your mouth.
Oh, God.
So I don't believe they're doubling down, Adam. But here's why. You're right, but I disagree on this angle. There's never been DEI that's been a special program brought into the WNBA. Never has. It was the culture from day one. Their culture was this. Well, this was the culture.
I don't mean this disrespectful. They're all lesbians. A lot of them are lesbians.
Point is, DEI was brought into certain companies and they faked it and they put up programs. We have a DEI program. They had DEI DNA. This was it since the beginning. And what you are seeing is a culture clash with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham and organ rejection.
The WNBA is reportedly in complete chaos right now. The Seattle coaches accused of targeting Sophie Cunningham could allegedly face serious consequences, while millions of Caitlin Clark fans are demanding answers. The commissioner's office is reportedly under huge pressure as officials try to control a controversy that could become one of the biggest stories in women's basketball. Buddy, the reaction has been massive. Reports claim the story has spread across social media and major news platforms, with fans completely divided. One side is standing firmly behind Caitlin Clark, praising her for allegedly refusing to stay silent and defending Sophie Cunningham against what supporters describe as unfair treatment and coaching harassment. But the other side, including opposing coaches and league officials, is reportedly worried about Clark's influence. She is one of the biggest stars in the league, and if she were to take legal action or refuse to play until changes were made, the situation could create enormous pressure on the WNBA. The question now is simple: how far is Caitlin Clark actually willing to go to defend her teammate? And if these reports are true, the next move could change the entire
The
situation.
bigger story than Nolan Wells, that Caitlin Clark actually got some calls last game. So I'm sure the officials saw that, and they made sure today that she didn't get any calls and she didn't shoot many free throws. That was the thing today. You refs got to stay off Twitter, man. You're so reactive in this league, man. What a league this is, man. But yeah, this was all game. And I get there at home, and I get that, if you call that every time, all Minnesota's guards would file out in the first quarter. But still, to never call it is the opposite way. And I'm not talking about just fouls, I'm talking about to never call this. This is a foul, okay? If that's Olivia Miles, that's a foul. Olivia Miles is a rookie. Hasn't paid her dues. Doesn't have to mention Cheryl Swoops.
That's true. The roles were reversed for calling a foul on this. And I think that's everybody's biggest gripe. If this wasn't called by any across the board, fine. But the fact that it's such a double standard, maybe not double standard, the fact that there's such hypocrisy involved, it's like, all right, well, we're going to call fouls here. No, I think double standard is the right word. The fact that we're going to call fouls when it's Caitlin Clark playing defense, but we're not going to call fouls when they're playing defense like this on Caitlin Clark. Well, that's the issue. We need it to be fair across the board.
And, all the veterans, Cynthia Cooper and Teresa Weatherspoon, every time she opens her mouth, she's not required to do that. She hasn't even paid her dues yet.
This could be the biggest showdown yet, a superstar against the entire WNBA coaching establishment. Now, buddy, I want to know what you think. Do you believe Caitlin Clark is standing up for Sophie Cunningham and showing what a true teammate looks like? Or do you think these reported legal claims could create even bigger problems for the WNBA? Drop your honest opinion in the comments right now. If you support Caitlin and Sophie, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and help get the story out there. And if you want more shocking WNBA updates, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because if these reports continue to develop, the next chapter could be even bigger.